Hello everyone, this is Steve O'Reilly and Gayle Saunders with Skinny Pose TV. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the NFC North and predict our winners for the 2012 season in that division. Gayle, who do you like coming out of the North on top at the end of the year?
Well, let's go with the Packers. With a defense that played as poorly as they did last year, and they still went 15-1. I don't think the offense is going to slow down that much this year. I think the defense will probably get better. That division is pretty tough, though. I mean, you got some juggernauts. You got Johnson out in Detroit, Stafford. You got Cutler and now Brandon Marshall. It's a tough division, and I think a lot of teams are going to get banged up, and it really depends on injuries, really, I think. But just thinking off the top of the head, I got to go with the Packers. I'm not doubting Aaron Rodgers. He's one of the best QBs in the league. I think he's going to be throwing those those back shoulder fades all day long. I think they're going to step it up a notch. Now they have a new running game with Cedric Benson. I'm not sure if Starks, how he's playing into the picture this year. But Packers all the way, man. Who you got?
I'm going to go a little differently, and everyone's going to go...
You're going to go the Bears, huh?
I am going to go with Chicago.
Hey, I'm not mad at that.
And not... I would really see two teams going 13-3 in this division, and I don't know if the Packers defense is going to hold up, and I don't see. I mean, the passing game for the Packers, we obviously know what they can do. We obviously see what they bring to the table, but the Giants kind of showed us a little blueprint last year that they can be beat at home, and it kind of took away a little bit of that. Oh, the mighty Packers who almost went undefeated last year, went 15-1. And I think the Bears, as long as Cutler stays healthy and gets through the season, the biggest question mark in that whole division is the Bears' offensive line. We know the Bears' defense is going to be what they are. They got Peppers, they got, Urlacher if he gets healthy and gets going. We know what they can do. We know what they can do up front. We know their running game with Forte, and now they've added Michael Bush. It's a solid 1-2 punch. Cutler and Marshall could be the biggest difference. And that rookie they brought in at wide receiver,
Jeffries.
Yep, Jeffries looks good. They've got a quarterback who can make great throws. Cutler was ripping it the other day against the Reds, and Brandon Marshall adds a dimension to that team that they haven't had since who? I mean, I can't even think of the last time that they had a wide receiver like that. Curtis Conway, maybe.
It's been a minute, but I love the continuity that they're bringing to the table. I mean, you have Bennett, a guy who he's played with in college, knows what he can do. He put up great numbers with Cutler. Brandon Marshall put up great numbers. Now they have the quarterback coach from the Broncos that was there, help both those guys along the way. And then you have even Devin Hester to take a top off the defense. It's going to be silly good in Chicago.
Yeah, and I just see them being a little bit better defensively than the Packers. And I think that the Packers' defense doesn't match up to the Bears' defense. And I'm not willing to say the Bears' offense is as good as the Packers, but it's a different style. They can run the ball better in Chicago than they can in Green Bay, and they can throw it well enough to beat you still with Marshall and all those other weapons we already talked about. Now, the Detroit Lions are another team that are going to be right there in the mix. That offense is getting older together. They're becoming professionals together. Megatron, Stafford, we'll see what Best can bring to the table if he's going to get healthy enough to help them out. Their defensive front is always good, but that secondary still has too many question marks for me. I don't see them stopping Brandon Marshall. I don't see them stopping Craig Jennings or Donald Driver or Jordy Nelson or any of those other weapons out there in the North. And, sadly, the Vikings just aren't ready yet. Adrian Peterson's really all they got right now, and Christian Ponder is, he's just not ready to compete with those other great quarterbacks in that division.
Yeah, they're rebuilding. The Vikings are rebuilding. Like you said, the Lions, my biggest question for the Lions is, do they want it enough? There's a couple of off the field issues that have happened. It's just like someone has to step up as a leader in that group and take those guys by the horns. Whether Ndamukong Suh with all his things that went on last season. Not that he's a bad guy, but there was a lot of distractions. But they just need to get it together, and those leaders, team leaders, have to step up. And I think they got some pieces. I mean, they even got a nice little receiving core. They got Titus Young. He should elevate his game this year. The running back position is up in the air. Kevin Smith is holding it down for now. I don't know if that's him, LaSure, what he's going to bring to the table, and then Javid Best. What's going on with Javid Best? Like, he's one hit away from, I don't know, man. Like, that dude was seeing stars for like months. So just a lot of question marks in Detroit, and I don't know. Minnesota, AP, I don't know, with his leg, can he really come back after that kind of injury and be the man that he was? Like, he was a beast. His running style so violent.
Yeah, not without the help, though. Yeah, he could if he was in Green Bay and he had Rodgers that could go out and win the game for him, or the receivers go out and win the game for him. But when you play the Vikings, who do you? Every single defensive coordinator in the league is going to say, okay, we've got to keep our eyes on AP. We got to shut him down. He's the guy we're going to shut down, period. And then we'll make somebody else step up and beat us.
Tony Gerhardt.
Yeah, I don't see who it's going to be. So, I mean, honestly, would it surprise me if the Packers win the North? Absolutely not. Would it surprise me if the Lions won the North? Maybe a little. But it wouldn't surprise me if the Bears win either. I think at the end of the day, both of the Bears and the Packers will be a 12, 13-win team. And it depends, who's healthy down the stretch.
Yeah. I mean, the healthier team in that division is going to take it.
Yep. And the Bears O-line needs to do their thing. It's important. Yeah. If they look bad early, could be a long season. Could be all for naught. Well, I'm Steve O'Reilly. That's Gayle Saunders. That's the NFC North Predictions. He's got the Packers. I got the Bears. And as always, we're giving you the skinny 24/7.
The Bears.